welcome to all of you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls to this day 11 of 21 day plant based challenge, my dear friends. This has been such a beautiful journey because most of you have challenged yourself to be on this plant based diet for 21 days. And I'm so, 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 so proud of each and every one of you. This has been a beautiful journey and it is going to go on till 25th of February, my dear friends. So stay tuned and get all the information and meet all the wonderful people around the world who have adopted plant-based diet in their life. And we have all been hearing about their journeys, about their spiritual journeys, and all of the lessons that they are about to share with us and whatever they have shared with us along the way. So today, my dear friends, we have again a very, very special guest among us. She is none other than Deepti Reddy Madugala from Hyderabad. She is a super successful entrepreneur, a woman empowerment leader who has helped many, 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 many thousands of women to stand up on their feet and to be independent, financially independent. And she has many offices, many businesses, uh, all helping women and completely focused on environmental issues. She is an animal lover, she is a nature lover, she is doing a lot of service to humankind through many ventures. So, my dear friends, let us welcome Deepti Reddy Madugala from Hyderabad. Welcome, Deepti, for this beautiful event, and thank you so much for gracing your, this occasion with your presence. And
Thank you so
please,
much, Parimita. It
yes,
was so kind of you. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. You are doing wonderful service to mankind. First of all, I want to congratulate you on this,
yeah,
even on the 21-day plant challenge. It is my pleasure and honor to be with you today.
yeah. So, Deepti, please, we all want to know about you. Where are you from? And what is your, how did you grow up? When did you get into spirituality? When did you get into plant based? And everything about you, your the ventures. Why did you choose woman empowerment as an aspect into your life? Everything about you.
Yeah, sure, Parimita. Thank you. So, I'm a small town girl from Karimnagar. I'm born in Karimnagar in Telangana region. Um, I come from a very middle class family where my father is a central government employee, my mother is a housewife, and I have a background, very leftist background, to be honest. So I've been seeing people since my childhood in the from the grassroots levels. So that's where I come from, such roots where people roll BDs in my family, even today probably. So that's where my journey started. However, I had a good education background in Karinagar, and then I did my MBBS. I got qualified 2 or 3 seats, but then I left it for farming. And at that time, I had a choice to take the private medicine seat or go for the agriculture thing. I
Okay.
really had a lot of passion for environmental based career. At that time, Telugu people always, they used to choose only doctor and engineer as the highest grade professions. They used to degrade every other profession possible. Almost they didn't bother about other careers. They didn't respect that. But I really had a lot of respect even at that time that nature and environmental careers were good. By choice, I have joined horticulture BSc in Enjiranga Agriculture University. That was my probably first career conscious choice, you can say. First, I will just briefly brief about my career journey. Then I will brief how spirituality and all this awareness came to me. So
Yes.
that's how that was my first career choice. I left, quit my MBBS and took BSc Horticulture in Enjiranga University. Then I did public administration as my next subject. Masters in political science also in distance. Both of them were in distance because that was my option for civil services. I opted that also. Forest service was like just at that time it was direct mains, so it was cleared, and group one, that kind of all trials was over. and I couldn't finally enter the civil services. I was even in Delhi prepared and all. Again, maybe that was again a second conscious choice that I would not continue the career, because by that time spirituality also deeply entered my life, and I really clearly got career choices that I imagined myself sitting in a room. Am I a doctor? No, no, I was not. Maybe I felt better saying myself an energy doctor. Similarly, when I was too indisciplined or too creative to be a bureaucrat. That's what my feeling. And by the time I reached that phase, parallelly many things were going on in my life. Even I quit that career and left Delhi and came back to Hyderabad. And whatever first company I have floated, 2012, Idea Eco Living Private Limited. Today I am the CEO of that company. I can proudly say that it's an eco-conscious, India's first eco-spiritual company, which is incubating a lot of eco-conscious business models. I've journeyed enough to say that, I've associated with 40 plus brands which have spread only eco-consciousness, nature, food, farming, and lifestyle. I've helped a lot of farmers, impacted a lot of community-based models. Even today, OG Natural Foods, we are impacting supply chain in natural foods. And then I have one startup called Farm Tour. This is the eco-conscious part. Even if I do any project today, cooperatives, corporate systems, eco real estate, many things are there in my basket today. As a concept consultant and a strategic leader, I'm on board more than few companies today. But all these, I ensure that I have an ethics, which I say I don't do anything that harms the environment, and I coexist with my fellow beings. When I say coexist with my fellow beings, I didn't have all these awareness earlier. I come from a pure Reddy family in Telangana, where non-vegetarianism is a base food actually. I never really had any guilt, shame, remorse for eating. I was never aware. I always enjoyed whatever from my childhood also. Anyway, I'll come back to that. But I actually became a true environmentalist, I can say, only in 2018. Yeah, not 18, 5 years ago. What was that date? I should remember now. 5 Shivratris ago, okay? From this Shivratri, 5 Shivratris before. That day in my deepest meditation, I had a clear calling that completely I have to drop non-vegetarianism, though I was on and off kind of lady. That's when I really feel I became a true environmentalist. Till that time, I didn't have a right to call myself I'm serving environment, I love nature. All these are not, I don't deserve to talk all those. That's when I had a strong calling. I will tell you why we reached that awareness point also. So that's when, after that 2000, that's one part of my career story. The other part is like after my postnatal thing, my kids, and I had a lot of startups up and down, a lot of financial journey also ongoing. That's when I thought other women like me shouldn't be struggling in the startup ecosystem. We will support many women grow with us together. Even I gave that like an energy principle, women energy, a circle of energy. You give energy, share energy, meditate, sit together, breathe, let go things. So this all was, again, every of my business journey was spiritually aligned actually. So since 2015 to 16, that time this woman empowerment journey began. Today we are I reached a network of 2000, 4000 plus women. And today we are incubating eco-conscious enterprises. I can say manufacturers, exclusively focusing on women manufacturers. And here, at least 100 women, we are working with them. We are incubating their manufacturing units. This is my career story actually. Like Parinita said, I am a serial entrepreneur. So how successful I am, it all depends on, I think my success lies in the people I impacted already. So if that is called success, yes, I'm really successful. I've touched many souls in my life, and thousands of souls. I can say I'm journeying with souls now, no more with bodies and minds. So it's a great journey. Life is very beautiful with all its light and dark. I've seen the greatest of dark faces only in business, in my relationships, in my every journey is so spiritually empowering. I can say that pain is so conscious actually. Now I feel happy for everything today. I know.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is a career part, Parnita. Rest all, it's available in Google also. Many people have their own achievements.
No, we would love to hear from you right now. So I mean, at least a little bit of the overview of your journey, because this is a program which we have kept for all the people who have really transformed their lives and have transformed others' lives also,
Yeah.
because you guys are women like you are a huge inspiration for all the women who are hearing you right now, and we would love to hear about how you have overcome certain things or certain challenges that you might have faced in your life. So maybe a little bit of that
Yeah.
would help all
So
the
for
women
me,
around.
yeah, success is very holistic. Even today, I told in my 18th year, I wrote one statement: in happiness lies your success, in service lies your purpose. So, at any point of time, anyone is suppose measuring your own success, please see how happy you are. The minute you know how to be happy, you're already successful. And then, if it is commercial success, if it is social success, if it is all that will fall in place. So, this is my say even today: the day you find your happiness, you are successful. If you're not yet, then you're not successful. Please, that is one thing. And in service lies every one of our purpose, whatever we do. That is the thing. Uh, Coming to spiritual journey and all this, see, every woman also today also I tell that it is holistic. Never think a very ambitious woman growing high stages and she's not again happy in her personal life or anything. We are a soul material, a conscious material, human beings who came for a divine experience here, not divine beings came for a human experience and not vice versa. I always say this. So if we are aware of this, I think success is only a matter of measuring with whatever yard anyone is measuring. I don't uh, even tell what is success because it is it is visible. The way we grow, the way we walk, the way we talk. Our growth story speaks of success. Our awareness speaks of success. Many things are there. It is very holistic thing. Coming to spiritual journey, and how this parallelly came, probably it always there, like in our past lives, if we read 100, we will read one, not one page, we don't begin in the one. Okay, probably that is with me also. But these all words didn't seem practical to me few years ago. I was just like any other girl. But one thing was sure: first time when I meditated or whatever, it began, I think I sat in my school in 6th class, Sambrahma Kumari. Generally, they come, right? I mean, to teach. I sat under a tree, and that was my first experience of meditation. They told to open eyes, but I closed and I sat like this. That is what I remember. That's my first experience of sitting in nature and meditating. I really had a very beautiful nature school in Karimnagar, Laurel School. That was I used to go in the breaks and get my groundnuts. Snakes were there, water was there, fishes were there. Seriously, I am very blessed to have such a school that impacted my subconscious very much to get into nature-based careers. I always, even today, daily, when childhood age only children are impacted with nature and environmental things, they're obviously going to be very creative and bring nature into everything they do. That was one thing. Second, my next experience of spirituality, I never even thought of when, I mean, we don't even think of breathe, that is unfortunate thing. If mankind ever won, it is that they won only in prana. But if mankind ever neglected anything, that is again prana. I mean, the breath force, the basic life force. So I was also not aware. But one in my childhood, I had a lot of. I came from a very wealthy family once upon a time, and it's like a very cinematic story. And then completely we went into a rags kind of ecosystem by 8, 6, 7. So it was like a lot of trauma for a child undergoing a complete financial shift. Too much traumatic childhood, too much financial. This all was going very young age for me. That time I saw one saint, and it's just he was passing through the ground or whatever. He was some people predict, right? That's my I can say second spiritual experience, 6th class. So he's telling something very loud, and he was telling about my future, my father. So exactly, precisely, he was telling. I was clear he was telling the truth. Okay, I really wondered how could he get that Siddha, that Shakti. Who was he? Just a road roamer with rags and orange color clothes. He's telling something, but it impacted me. Right? How could he get that power to tell something beyond time and space? This consciously triggered me when I was in the utmost lowest point of my life. Actually, that time, as a child, parents, a lot of injured things were happening in my life. So at that time, I thought, who is this person? How can he tell so much to me? Then when I was doing this, I suddenly got an awareness when he was talking that these parents, all these are like biological for me. There is something higher which is there for me, which is guiding, which was telling me something. 6th class, I'm sure I became aware of that. I think by the 7th, 8th, when this transition was happening, I started making friendship with the higher nature. Mother is like, okay, if I tell mother, she will feel bad about it. If I tell father, he's already something. All these things were going on. So I started sharing with the higher mother, higher father, earth. Anyway, this thing was happening like a fun game for a child, actually, because my utmost pain point, I always had endurance, I always smile on the face or whatever. I was not telling what was inside, but I was sharing to the higher consciousness. So my third spiritual experience, I can say, at that moment, I made an emblem of some image I wanted. Actually, I was sleeping in deepest pain as a child. One night, I got this whatever Sai Baba image, or at that time, the closest temple was that only, or I don't know whatever it is that master. It's a blessing. It came in my dream. That's my second spiritual experience. It came very clearly like a meditative posture. Then this triggered me. See, obviously, as a child, when it comes, some friend, Sai Baba is coming like your friend and giving you a rose, and he's saying all is okay. I made him a lifetime friend enough. So there onwards, this master's journey, every master, I started seeing master in everything. Honestly, from that time, I used to go in temple and sit and ask my 10th class marks also. I used to get the some ringing messages kind of thing also, because by that time I already making the nature as my friend, higher consciousness as my friend. I'm surrendering to the master or whomever I'm getting. This was happening. It was a transition. The one more triggering, like I was in my inter, I was like a very poor stage actually, 100 rupees fee, 10th class. I'm asking someone and paying my fee. I'm state ranked at Pratibha Award. I got whatever. But I was taken by a private college. In a hostel I was studying. At a deep moment, I was always a deep thinker. Take a book and write. Thousands of books I was reading by that time. Honestly, I was always a book reader. I'm reading that book. Some Independence Day came that day. I gave a very wonderful speech, like 400 people, audience clapping to me, and all these were also triggering my knowledge, spiritual journey. I was that kind of qualities were showing me I was a natural leader. That night, again, one more triggering point, when I was getting a lot of accolade and all, I was not touched actually. What is that? Am I great? Who is that they're clapping for? I'm this body, yeah, mind. Who is that talking? And see, because all these some different kind of awareness came. I used to write down in that college time, no? Intermediate. What I was writing down all that. One that night, just beside my college room in Narayanpur, Hyderabad, my room had a window outside. One dead body, one beggar died that day night at the road. It took 18 hours to clear the body. No one came because it was very interior place. At that time, Hyderabad was not so. That 18 hours I was beside the room seeing that. Then I just suppose if I die, what will happen to my body? Like this thoughts came actually. See, I was studying. My only career goal was okay, now I'll become a doctor. I'll become. At that juncture, I'm seeing a death. That's when interest on not on life, death triggered me actually. I started reading a lot of books and death. Then only
Just
will I
like
understand
Buddha,
life.
just like Gautam Buddha, I guess.
Yeah, we understand what is the pain, what is the suffering. What that day I couldn't sleep 18 hours. Like just the municipality came and then take over the body. Then I understood. Okay, everyone will die. Means everyone will be like that only. So what is that which is alive after that, or what is that consciousness? Something like this triggered. That's when probably these all journeys triggered. I seriously didn't know meditation even that time, but I had a habit of reading a lot of things, writing a lot of things, experimenting with nature, talking with higher consciousness, sitting in silence. These were the common things. Like even today in meditation, they tell sit in silence with yourself, empty your mind. It were happening a bit naturally also due to a lot of pain points in life. We prefer silence sometimes, and it's good. Pain is very good sometimes, and yeah, this all happened. These four experience I remember very well. That day onwards, I took interest in writing the depth of these subjects, life, death issue, breath. What happens with breath after it goes out? I was very inquisitive since a child. I started learning. Now, though I can say I traveled Himalayas more than 10 times. Every year I go. Every master, whomever I met, wherever there is knowledge, I used to run. To go. If there is nothing, I used to write a part-time project, get that money, travel. Go to the master, learn. Like that, I learned art of living during my Sudarshan Kriya, during my civil services. Isha, I learned because I love Isha brand, Shambhavi and all was there. I learned International Kundalini Research Foundation from Australia. They made me a core team member. I knew nothing just because of the questions I asked. Because my Kundalini and all awareness I was getting, I was not noting these points. I didn't know Shiva Shakti, half of that. I was writing down and asking it. Many like that, lot of knowledge I have seeked, honestly. Vipassana I did long back. Himalayas, I used to travel every year and try to get something new. If there is today also something new, I research about the subject, try to learn with my time zone. These all really brought up my spiritual career also up. You should use this word because spirituality is also a conscious choice. You have to seek. A seeker has to be ready to learn every day, practice every day. It is not about just being, I know. It doesn't happen like that. We know nothing actually. Whoever say we know, they don't know anything. This much I know.
Absolutely.
So I think seriously, I know nothing because a wise mind is when it goes to no mind stage, there is no person there to say I know everything actually.
Yeah.
But 2018 onwards, 12 I met Patri sir. Due to Monish, one friend, they told there is a Dhyana Chakram going on. Let's go to Vizag. How that happened? I just went very casually because sir is from agriculture. Okay, I'm from agriculture alumni, so I was very excited
That's
that
where
I
the
will.
bond happened.
Okay, I'm seeing all when coming, they're hugging, what they're doing, this, survey, this. Like, it's very weird actually. I felt like Harry Potter world, I went to Dhyana Mahachakram and so many stalls, so many people. I like a Harry Potter world. Where someone is telling astral travel, someone is telling pyramid. What's happening? I mean, this energy world. First, that is one triggering moment for me. I sat there and sat in some astral travel workshop, some meditation. That's when I took Anapanasati more seriously because by the time I did many meditations. Everything I have practiced very sincerely. Nothing could stop me. I didn't like it. I mean, there was something not stop content making me peaceful.
Yeah.
Okay, 2012 when I went there, this triggered me, that environment and all. So I took a commitment. I will come back and practice Anapanasati. That much I did, but I was not a serious practitioner also until very 2018 or something. I came to a point where nature literally dragged me. Whatever I made, it didn't matter to me. After 2012, there are triggering effects. Maybe entire consciousness of the world is evolving, human DNA is evolving, whatever all these terms people say, Galactic Federation. Many things I started understanding, channelizing on my own, becoming aware. That's when this meditation actually is like a pipeline to the cosmic this thing. Though later on, even now today, I learn Swara Yoga, I learn many other things. I take my own breaks and seek new knowledge. But this is a base. It's like, LED TV, when you have all the black and white TVs, that is the LED version, the latest version on direct access is there. Nothing could stop me, seriously. I mean, after 2000, intensely after 2018, I can say that it's grace, pure grace. So please, viewers, I request you, everyone, never ever take breath for granted. Never ever take meditation is one of the most beautiful experiential. It's not about health. It's not about wealth. It's not about manifestations. It's much and beyond. It's about you, your truth. It's about joy and always being in your own state of consciousness. It's not always being happy. Spirituality is not always about being a happy journey. It's about being raw. It's about being authentic. You have more clarity now. You have more intuition. You know yourself better than you before. You befriend yourself well than before. You see the divinity in you and others. You start seeing everyone like one being gradually. So these all, I think. So since then I'm like a little serious meditator only now.
Oh my God.
So
What a beautiful journey. What a beautiful journey. I am mind blown just listening to your journey. It's awesome. I don't have any words to actually express my feelings right now. That is awesome. And
yeah.
when did you exactly, meet Patriji and interact with him? And what was your first experience?
Yeah, 2012, I met, like I said, in Dhyana Mahachakram. A lot of crowd was there. I said hi, and when he saw me, I just saw, okay, oh, that's it. I never even thought of him after that. But I used to have a lot of, because I'm practicing it already, probably, I used to get a lot of dream wake state kind of intuitions. I used to always get, whether it's a kind of, whatever, master or guardian angel. I had a very strange and weird dream one day, like, all masters going in. I was not being taken care of. Somewhere I was dropped. I was about to fall. Sometimes we get falling dreams, rising dreams. Someone was holding me. That someone was Patriji always. I realized that later. I never told these dreams to anyone. Okay, but
Okay.
these are intermediately happening to me. A higher woman consciousness, divine, like higher mother factor speaking to me, and this dream. But okay, I didn't take even that time seriously. 2000, like I said, Viminaji, I built with a lot of effort. VM also at that time it was floated. All my startups were coming to, even though I got a lot of name, fame, I was making money. I don't know, lot of some very, there came a point where I felt enough of this drama. If God attainment is the final goal, if I am my final truth, why I have to create all this? I mean, like I got fed up of everything, including sometimes we get, I don't know if it's called vairagya or anything, family, business, enough. I don't want. I just want. Even I used to go to Sai Baba photo, whatever I used to tell, give me nothing less than you, nothing more than you. Give me what you are. The truth I want. Like an intense truth-seeking desire has come. That's when I met Patri sir again. Because till that time I didn't know when I was, but yeah, in my women energy journey, VM, whatever, I was every woman, man I'm touching or we are talking every day in my life also. I used to tell them meditate, sit. Maybe that all helped me. That previous Shivratri, I dropped completely vegetarianism, I mean non-vegetarian, completely.
Oh, that is
It
very
was
happy.
41 days by the time I took a serious oath, I will not touch. After the 41st day, I remember that day also. I called one lady from my women team, Urvashi or someone. She came and there was some breath session. I generally allow everyone to tell breath sessions in my networking meets, business networking. I tell, please, women, don't run. We are nature. We are divine feminine. We need not go and gather material. Okay, it will come. First, you let go all your emotions, breathe out, breathe in, then you do the networking. This was my habit. That lady came. I remember her talking about Patri sir. Now, this intense urge was already there. 2 o'clock in the night, I'm not able to sleep, 2 to 4. Generally, it happens nowadays, ascension, energy, downwards, whatever they call it. Impossible. It has been nights, months by that time. I thought I will get up like that and walk if needed and go in search of truth. That was the stage exactly. This is other kids are there on the bed. My husband is
Okay.
there like this. It's my truth. That day, I called her and told, you told about one sir, I mean, Patri sir and all. Earlier, she was telling, I used to comment a lot actually. Hey, I don't know this guru. He doesn't even have proper branding. Isha and I'll see how much branding is there. Today, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm telling you. So I told, I used to comment like that to her also many times. See how I will do branding. See once I know which like that. I used to have all this attitude. That night I called her. Once in our conversation, I commented about branding and one sir, na, please take me to him. This is my first question to her. 2 o'clock in the night. Next day morning, 6 o'clock, when she came, she drove my car. I went to Pati sir. He went to some other place. Again, I went there. Then he's eating. First, he's sleeping. He's telling me, go and eat first. Because he will never lets anyone be hungry. That's the first food lesson I learned. First eat. I ate. After that, okay, they introduced me, sat in some room. I'm crying non-stop for 1 hour. No reason.
Wow.
Non-stop I'm crying. I'm telling him, see, sir, I'm not crying because I'm weak or I have problems now. All these issues are happening, I know, but I'm not crying for that. I'm telling him. He's telling, I know. It's okay, I know. I'm still justifying it. So, wow, he's telling, no, no, I'm not weak. But I don't know. It was healing. Years of emotional healing. That's total silence. And as you go near the source, you feel a joy, right? And that was happening actually. I was feeling unconditionally blissful, peaceful, whatever you call. So first experience, I think 1 hour complete silence, I'm crying. Then after that, I woke up and okay, now done, I'm done, let's go. Then sir got up and said, you're one of the, well, I mean, he tells a lot of positive words always whenever he meets new people or whatever. He told you are one of the most amazing leader I've met. You will, very nice compliment he gave. In my life, no one complimented that. I mean, even if anyone complimented, I didn't feel it. That day I felt it was a real compliment. Being appreciated by one great leader himself, and he really acknowledged the spirit in me. Actually, that day I could say I always believed myself. Okay, between consciousness or higher consciousness to do greater good. Always I believed from my childhood I was born for a special purpose. Something we feel that, right? I have a
Yeah.
special purpose for this soul. That he endorsed that day, some way in his word or expression, whatever. I felt okay. From there I went to Kartal with him. I
Okay.
said, can I come to you from your office? And there we were sitting. He has a way that day I felt as if that entire day he's with me. Like from years we have been together or something like that. We were in a meeting that day. Luckily, see, that day only, solar, some project was being launched. Sir made me break the coconut. Actually, Navkant introduced me. He said, this madam came in paper, some branding is good branding. She does something he told about me. He is trying to pull me in the crowd. I'm trying to go away from the crowd because already I'm fed up. I don't know what I'm going for Patisaran sitting in the forest in Kartal. I want to go. He's again calling me and telling, madam, come do this. Madam, come launch this. He's telling she will become one crucial woman in the PSSM movement. Something he told like this. He's using very big words. I thought, I don't know anything about this also. And he's telling me like this. And again, I'm running away that day. Again, he's calling Naukan, then he'll show the pyramid to her, go and experience all this energy. But I was having a strong clarity that day that I came to a point where enough, I'm not going back to it until I know what I should do. That's why I was clear. I was trying to sit in a train and meditate again, but he's told to go to pyramid now. Okay, I went to the big pyramid, I sat there. That's when I felt actually what was talking is real. There is high energy here. It was very scientific actually. I mean, nothing was like, magic or drama or anything there. Then he told, because I always feminine in my mind. No, Parvati pyramid, I will go. Vaishiva pyramid. Again, I went to Parvati pyramid. There I met. He's again calling. So it was like total day it was going on.
All right, my dear friends, she'll come back in a moment. She has got some technical difficulties over there. And meanwhile, I would urge each and every one of you to please choose plant-based food in order to be healthy, in order to have a wonderful life. We have so many options. We have so many options which are, which we can get only from plants. All the proteins, all the iodine, all the things that we, take for granted. That maybe we are not aware that these products or these, proteins or vitamins or whatever are also available in these, plant-based products. So, my dear friends, I urge each and every one of you to please give up all the animal products. When I say all the animal products, I mean meat, eggs, fish, and dairy. So, most of you might be amazed when I say the word dairy, because this is something which we are all used to as vegetarians. Yes, that is what it is all about, and we really need to focus on plant-based food and leave anything from plants, anything from animals outside of our plate, outside of our glass, and outside of our cup. And yes, we have Deepthi back again, live with us. Uh, Thank you for coming back. We had a little network issue, I guess, over there, and we were unable to hear you out. So yes, yes, we can hear you right now.
Okay, so do we have time? I mean,
yeah, we have as much time as we need. It's like our platform, our stage. We can do whatever we want. So yeah.
So Patrice's meeting was really like first day was life changing. Later on, gradually, he has a way of telling actually, way of teaching also. He gives you as much as you take. I can tell that very clearly.
Yeah.
And it's a gradual evolution from there. I contributed little to PMC also. So I used to regularly meet him. And every meeting I thought I was giving, I mean, it was like as if there was an ecosystem created I was giving, but it was actually I was receiving a lot of knowledge. He's one of the most enlightened person walking on this earth right now. This much because we get a lot of insights.
We can see you, Deepthi. Yeah, now we can see you. Yes.
So after that, it has been almost everyday journey with him. When I was in the PMC in the initial stages, supporting that launch or whatever, a few months. And then onwards, there's a drastic shift because three things he always tells: be with the good companionship, good books reading, and then everyday practice of the meditation. These three things, if we do, I think more than enough. There is nothing else. And he always used to tell, this is your truth. This is your only purpose of life. You have to take this truth ahead. And it was true to me. From there onwards, every of my, even business picked up, personal life picked up, career picked up. Name it anything, it doesn't matter. Because when you are so close to truth, that there can be nothing else but your own. Today, it's like my energy is impacting many women, I can say, many lives. Today, my compassion has grown to next levels, or wisdom has grown. A lot of things shift in us also. Not that spirituality is not an overnight journey where you just entered LKG again, gradually, but there we are. It takes you to different levels actually. And today, seriously, gratitude to Earth Master for making this happening and all. Even Parinita, a lot of wonderful souls who are supporting the journey. I seriously learned about the importance of food after coming to KSSM. I never valued food so much. I used to eat and run. First, we have to do something great in life, so don't eat. First, eat little and run and do. Food was just a part of my life, component. But now it's not like that. We have to understand food differently. Today, I run different food-based companies. I'm into natural food. Today, even I learned pranic healing. I spoke plants at a point of time. I researched enough to tell on this subject today, so I can tell. So we have to understand food differently. Whatever we consume is food. It's not only about exactly speaking
Food goes through the eyes, through the mouth, through the ears, through the and. So it's not about the gross food always. There is a lot of the thought we take is also a food at a different level. If we speak about that, meditation is the actual food to the soul. So that's why first speaking of food, let's speak of meditation. You give body time daily. You have bath, you eat food, you shit and all this. But did we ever think how much time we are giving to the soul? So food to the soul is meditation. Then food to the mind, in my view, is that conscious thoughts. I cannot say pure thought, good thought, bad thought, because thoughts do come. Conscious awareness about your thoughts is which thoughts you are taking. That is a food to the mind. Suppose you see all the negative media, always you focus on the lower things of life or whatever, that becomes your food to the mind. Or you're always thinking, so this is second kind of food to the mind. Now coming to the actual food we eat. Like I said, I am from a pure non-vegetarian family. I face a lot of issues. Even today I face the struggle in between a kitchen of non-veg and veg and a lot of issues. There's a very big myth ongoing in the entire world that lack of protein will happen if non-vegetarianism is not there. And worst thing going on is food has become synonymous with non-vegetarianism. If you observe, earlier there was not this kind of culture. More and more of, like I said, everything has consciousness, including plants. Honestly speaking, it's not that if we eat plant, it is not violent. So everything is conscious. Has even eating a plant is indirectly a way of violence. But with what need you are eating, that shifts the need. Suppose a tiger has to eat a deer has to eat the grass. Some fisherman somewhere living in between an island, he has to eat the fish. That is okay. That is food cycle. Because consciously it is a need. Everyone will die if we don't eat. Okay, this is natural process of food. But people justifying it today that eating meat is a food cycle when they have lot of other options of healthy foods, and considering killing a life on plate just for our taste bud. Ask any non-vegetarian, it is 90% of non-vegetarians, I can tell that. They subconsciously have some guilt or they know it is not good to eat, but the taste triggers them. It means they are already a slave for their taste bud.
Not 90%, 100% are there like that.
100%. Maybe one really think that is food and they can't give up, that's different. But this I realized one day that, I was had a lot of cravings. Even when I was first pregnancy, my elder child, people, I didn't eat at all by the time I gave up. I used to meditate a lot. That was, my child was born little underweight and, all my family, later on my husband also blamed me, you didn't eat, that's why he became like that, you didn't eat. Second time I didn't want to take that, and I don't know, seriously, all my past craving also came back in the second pregnancy time. I really wanted to eat fish that time. I ate, honestly, I'm telling you, I ate, like anything I ate. But I realized, what is happening to me? I don't have control on myself. It was like influenced thing. In my deeper of the layers, it was not that. Thinking non-vegetarian is alternative to protein. That is one big myth going on. Please don't believe that. And one more thing is, it can't be like, and if we compare this, people are so much angry. I'm a pet lover, I'm a dog lover, I'm an animal lover. When are you cooking your dog then? When is it on the plate? Tell me. And if you ask us, they get so much angry, This dog is one good pet. Is it not hen? Is it not? That way in COVID, we are all locked in cages. Our cats.
Absolutely.
We also caged birds, we harass them. If you go into the farming of animals, we are calling today animal farming. How
livestock.
Say someone farms humans, human farming. See, something is very, very unfair happening actually. We all have to be aware. It can't be, if I tell this again, people get emotional, but a hen's kid and a human kid, maybe it could be different, but it can't be so different that you have right to kill some other child or a family or whatever, a cult, and you said this is my food, right? If someone else said you that to you, it would have been, we'd have been more aware that someone were to eat us, then we would not justify this anymore. Because, anyway, that's because animal farming itself is not a healthy culture actually. Even suppose cavemen ate, tribal men ate, whatever. At that time, it was maybe hunting and gathering. It was a food need, but no more. Today, it's not a food need. Let's be very clear about this. Let's not justify it, calling it food cycle. If someone of your friends just tell them to closely observe themselves, how their emotions are being impacted when you eat veg food and non-veg food. How your way of thinking, your compassion level, everything shifts, but we take it so much for granted. We don't want to accept that it is wrong also, actually. It's so much casually taken. Party means, chalo party, means kill a lot of animals. That has become the whole composite culture now. There's a lot of debate going on, I'm sure, on this in different levels, but it's not about anyone anymore. It's about how your consciousness is more aware about not harming any co-being, be it plant, be it animal, be it anything actually. But plant, when you're taking, you take with that need and awareness. Earlier, there was a culture in where people used to take every plant food also as offering, as a need. We have to survive, so we're eating. We are not eating by demand or not grabbing. And this somewhere this culture of farming is also consciously going wrong into the chemicals, into the antibiotic field, into the animal farming. You're making machines, animals in like machinery. You're putting machines to cut their beaks, nurture them, give them antibiotics, make their flesh strong. Like goods, we are producing chickens today. Like goods, we are producing beef today. First, understand everything on a plate. When you put the food with the mouth, the consciousness goes into it. When a small thing, eat with awareness, see the difference. Now, that food, where it is coming from, who is producing it, what all is undergoing in the food, everything affects you, you know. Even a small vegetable grown without any consciousness from a farm, you eat that. Eat a small leafy vegetable with consciousness in your yard or by some farm or something, you eat that, you see the difference, you know. Every consciousness the food is undergoing, by the time it comes to your table, you are becoming what you eat. So it's not about energy, it's about resistance. We are harming ourselves.
We are losing you again, Kirti.
Huh?
Yeah. Now we can. I don't know. Somewhere in between, we are losing you. Yeah. Now it's clear. Now it's clear.
Yeah, as long as any soul being or any being is suffering, I don't think any other being can be in peace in the world. This we have to collectively become aware of this. Coming to plant-based food recipes means, like I said, when I shifted from non-vegetarian to vegetarian, I used to have a lot of patch of white hair, honestly. It is a complete drastic shift right overnight. But I can suggest to people what few drinks I can suggest, which I regularly take now. Earlier I was not aware. Now I'm 35 plus, so I started taking food very consciously. Most of the fluids actually are more than enough for human body, because most of our 80% of our body composition is water. So when you say pure food, conscious food, vegan food or whatever, try to include more fluids in your diet. This much I can say. Okay, and for that I can suggest very simply, because I am also a very busy woman, mompreneur with 2 kids. I have a lot of stress when I had to plan my diet. It's very hard cooking and going to office, again cooking. So 5-6 simple fluids we can do. For example, there is a date palm, you know, this jaggery powder, no?
Yeah.
Nowadays crystallized palm jaggery is coming in the market. Go anywhere also you will get this jaggery. Always is extracted from plant food. Okay, crystallized jaggery, if you can put 2 spoons into water early in the morning, this is iron. I'm telling, especially keeping women audience in view. After 35, iron and calcium are the 2 things very, very mandated for basic stamina. So this is one thing for vegetarians. 2 spoons of crystallized palm jaggery into water. Make that one fluid in your daily life, daily practice. Previous day night you can soak that. Next day night you can drink. Second thing is ganji. You know, there's what do you call
Rice water.
Rice water. One of the ancient most traditions. It's very, very healthy fluid. Please have it daily. Whoever drank rice fluid, even when dengue comes, immunity low, even when immunity gets low, people tell have this. So please make rice soup a daily practice into these 2 things. And like that, tomato soup, carrot juice, everyone tells it. But if you can make this 4-5 consistently a part of your this thing, I make 5 fluids. That is lemon water with honey, 1 spoon honey, and warm water, 1 spoon honey, and 2 drops of lemon. First fluid in the morning. After 2 hours, 1 hour, you can have carrot juice. After 1 hour, like I said, ganji. After few hours in between work again. See, these fluids are very simple to make. Palm jaggery, soaking in water, and 1 carrot enough for 1 juice daily. And tomato soup also you can quickly make. rice soup. So these fluids, because personally I have stamina, daily I interact with 100 people at least, directly, indirectly. So these fluids always keep. If you can prepare them in the morning, store in 5 bottles. This is a plant-based food. One is a carrot, tomato, the palm jaggery, and early morning warm water and lemon. This one. And one more tip for vegetarians, especially non-veg to veg, if you are converted. Yeah, like you said, sudden shift. That urge only it happens, and alternative to veg protein is flax. Actually, non-veg protein. You can say flax has heavy protein. If you can get flax laddus from the market nowadays, many brands are coming. And my own women manufacturers vintage. You can see the Neti Mitai brand, very nice laddus. So like that, you can go any brand, you can take that, and very simple oilless flax laddus. If you eat daily too, is one of the very good. You can make at home also. And one favorite recipe I will share today. I'm not much into good cook or anything, honestly. I valued food after seeing Patri sir. The way he serves food with gratitude, the way he makes food with abundance, the way he shares food, that sharing food culture, amazing actually. When Brahma Kumaris I saw in Mayam Tabu, extreme respect I got on food, the purity of food. I used to literally made my cook, you please talk for some days, make a I will cook. Because earlier I didn't have, also someone used to help me with and all. But now I consciously prepare some things for my kids whenever I have time. I consciously prepare for myself. I try to make, because now it's like I understood it is the energy of the person also goes to the food. Like where it comes, who grew it, with what intention grew it. Nowadays farmers are not growing anything consciously. Example, earlier there was a conscious culture of farming. Now it's like, okay, growing, get 1 lakh per acre, 1 lakh hectare. And it's all about money in the food. That's why everyone is thinking about money while eating food also. Okay. Anyway, we can't avoid everything. We can't make every plant-based food perfect now. But whatever food you get, try to make it as much chemical-free as possible. Go from local farmers. Drive a car 1 hour Sunday. Go and get from your village. Get foods as much as you can from local ecosystems. That is one way of handling your own purity. Second way of is clean it and all. Awareness. While you are eating, be aware. Heal it, clean it with your soul, consciousness, and eat. While cooking, who is cooking? Please be aware of that. You try to see their consciousness levels also. If they're cooking with anger, hatred, and all that stupid, and all that will affect your family. Don't worry. Seriously, it will affect. If they're having little love on your family, and you are cooking, and you are making someone in your family, even family members, if they're cooking with a lot of toxicity in mind, it doesn't even serve the family good. This is very important. Not about just eating plant-based food. Who is making the food? With what energy they are making in the morning or evening, and how you are consuming. These 3 things you have to set right. At least you make quick foods if you are to your own. So anyway, I trial all these whenever I get time. I'm doing now. So mostly early in the morning, I try to set as many things as possible before I come out. Now, one recipe I will share. I'm not a wonderful recipe sharer also.
Okay.
Beetroot is one food everyone needs. It has a lot of hemoglobin, it increases blood, purifies blood and all, but we cannot eat it very quickly, a lot of people. So I will tell one simple recipe. It is in my office, otherwise I wanted to go and grate and show. You take 1 beetroot, grate it, like turum, okay? And you take pure raw coconut. Pachi kubarikai, when we beat that, we get that right, grate it. Equal proportions. Beetroot, carrot can be 2 times extra also. Coconut can be 2 times extra. If you like coconut, some people don't like coconut much, then it could be equal. If some people like coconut, I have love for coconut, then make it 2:1. And along with this, onion can be eaten. It doesn't affect our consciousness like garlic actually. Garlic makes you a lot of, whatever, I don't know whether
inertia. Garlic is completely a mental inertia. It brings laziness in your mind.
It creates, if you see, you can experiment that also actually. After you eat garlic, you feel like having sleep. Sort of feel like, triggered with simple thing. Logically also people can understand. After they eat non-veg, they want to sleep first. You see that? As if, food should make you joyful, abundant. Like it doesn't make it creates like that with some foods. If some foods are wow, that is the wow, remember. Some foods are making you drag, that is not your food. Simple logic. Anyway, so this beetroot, raw coconut, and onion. We can grate it. If anyone didn't try, please try this. My uncle told me this actually, Narsana Kupula. He's a permaculturist. I hated beetroot. I never ate it. So he made one day they make chapati in the farm. Na? So he told you try this, and auntie and uncle showed me how to grate that. And when we ate that with the chapati, it is excellent. A good way of consuming both coconut, onion, and beetroot together. Little salt you can, and it's a beautiful recipe. Simple to make. Grate all three. Mix. So this is one of my favorite recipe to chapati I make for my kids so that they should eat some beetroot sometimes once in a while. That's all. So 5 fluids, please make it a habit in your life because 80% of your body is made up of fluids. So plant-based fluids you can consume. Don't go for very hard tests. Don't force your body to lot of quick. But people do this when they do diet. They think, oh, that cold energy doesn't really happen on healthy business. Happiness, drink with awareness, eat, even if you eat little, eat consciously happy. State of your mind will give you. Otherwise, if you forcibly do plant it also, honestly, I'm telling, it won't help you. Don't force yourself to be drinking hard, bitter things, or when you hate it and you drink it. Don't do like that. Practice it, love it. If you gradually love it, God is also lovable gradually. So,
Wow.
I'll do that.
That is amazing, Deepti. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, your beautiful spiritual experiences with us, whether it be in your childhood or after growing up. Those are so beautiful, and the way you have given these tips on success and how women actually can stand up for themselves, can be financially independent and empowering women, and your perspective into environmental issues and how to take care of this. And recently we have started something called SWAG, Save Water and Go Green. And we also envision the same, whatever you envision, we completely are working towards that. We both are working towards the same vision, to save water and go green. And to in the SWAG movement, there are three things which are most important. First is obviously to save water, to save all the natural resources, because we save time, we save money, we save energy. We need to save all the natural resources as well. And the second thing is to adopt plant-based food, and the third one is to plant trees wherever possible and to turn all the barren lands into lush green forests.
True.
And to create homes for these animals and birds.
Right.
So that is the main purpose of SWAG, my dear friends. And Deepti has, is so kind, so generous that she has, willingly, supported SWAG in such a big way that she is going to collaborate with SWAG, and with her energy, with her kindness, we are going to really do a lot of projects soon. We will keep you updated, so stay tuned with us.
Sure. Thank you so much, Paramita.
Thank you. Yes, final message from your side to all the women around the world.
All the women, please love yourself so much. That is your first food. love yourself so much. Give time to yourself, your body, your mind. Don't feel guilt, fear, shame about your body or your life is not about your husband and your kids always. It's about you, your body. Please take time for yourself, meditate, have good food. And especially one water tip I want to tell, especially women, you ask for your family, kids, yourself also. Water flows through a lot of channels because you said water, it occurred to me. Please store water in a very good place. Keep a good healthy pot or copper can, or please don't just throw water just like that. And flowing water, always never drink like that. Hold the water. And this one tip will really improve your life. What do you call that? Longevity, also skin health, awareness. Because water you have to drink very, very consciously from a clean place, holded place. The water should be stabilized. Then you drink the water, not from a flowing tap generally. So please, women, become aware of your own body, mind. Never give up. A lot of things with women is not only about women. Men and women both have divine feminine in them. A feminine aspect. Please nurture this feminine. Femininity is about love, compassion, more awareness. do more meditation. First, you meditate immediately. That's all.
That's it. Do
That's it.
meditation. Start now. That's all.
Immediately. Please drop non-vegetarianism. This is
Please
not
drop
about.
knowledge.
Please, this is the only thing. If anyone really wants to do any small difference to your own life and others, please do these things. Two things: meditate, stop non-veg eating immediately.
Immediately.
And not regret this decision.
We want this change right now.
No.
So no meat, no fish, no eggs, whatsoever, and
It's wonderful. Life is beautiful and magical if you do this both.
absolutely, absolutely. And we are living a sattvic life if we do that. We are living a completely sattvic life. Our thoughts become sattvic, our words become sattvic, our actions become sattvic, our emotions become sattvic. So we directly connect to the heart, and there are no pollutants or no corruption or no short circuiting happening in our body, mind, and emotions. So everything is sattvic, everything is pure. So we make our body a temple, not a graveyard. So we need to build this temple up and let God come and sit within us. So that's the whole purpose. Yes, Deepti, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us your valuable information and your experience and your insights. Oh my God, it's a big one. Thank you so much. We are eternally grateful to you for coming and speaking on this occasion. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Purnita, and all. Bye. A lot of gratitude to all of you. Good evening. Bye.
Thank you. Namaste.